What's up y'all? Lasagaman here, and today I feel is gonna be interesting. You see, after I made those Killer Creed videos and made him embarrass himself immensely, I was incredibly bored. I did manage to get my hands on the PC versions of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2.
Watch out! You're gonna crash!
But the time beforehand trying to get the games to work on my computer was hard until I realized that I shouldn't install in the default location of install. While they were installing, I ended up uncovering an oddly familiar video from an old friend I knew way back when in the pre-2018 times of my channel. The only thing I remembered with that friend was that we tried to do some form of collab that didn't turn out to exist, but I digress about my past. Anyways, the video in question was about the so infamous channel other than Boomerang Rants.
This is Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Now, for those of you who aren't classified as boomers, Boomerang was a channel that started out as a block on Cartoon Network for, well, I don't need to explain. Later on in the 2000s, it turned into its own channel. From 2000 to 2015 the channel had one distinct purpose. Shows from the 1980s or earlier from the library of Warner Brothers and Hanna-Barbera that were once on Cartoon Network, while that network went in its own direction. However, in 2015, in the US of A, the channel was rebranded to be hip and modern and basically everything Cartoon Network sought out to do, with emphasis on the past of early 2000s to the 90s at best. Most fans of Boomerang saw this as a big sin on Turner, and the worst thing they've ever done. Might be exaggerative, but that history lesson, if you can even call it, has a purpose. The rants on Boomerang 5 years after it was considered cool to do so. Most rants back then covered the basic stuff, citing the logo not being a boomerang and the similarity of Cartoon Network's logo, the lack of classic programming on the network, and the style the bumpers took on, unlike its pre-2015 counterparts cut to today, where even from last year, there are still rants on Boomerang, ones that shouldn't be necessary seeing as it's been beat into the ground. So why not check up on some of these rants and show you why most of these rants, after I'd say 2016, were mediocre at best. Alright, first one, here we go. We begin with some guy by the name of
That is a very long name, dear God.
Who seems to be under the impression that the entity of Turner Broadcasting is watching him.
What is this? Turner, I'm talking to you. What is this?
Which sounds so dumb in the terms of why hold a company whose time, if fixed on other things, dedicate some time to some YouTuber talking about them. Anywho, he whines about the current Boomerang logo, although his isn't any better as it looks like someone tried to bootleg the Boomerang logo. He goes on about his childhood with the channel, the encounter change, and everything in between. If you've seen any Boomerang rant from 2015, you could predict this video. Next. Our next rant, wait, hold up, I think I got the wrong video and ended up downloading the Shadow the Hedgehog intro and happened to be mistitled to be a Boomerang rant. Now I gotta find the right video. Wait a moment, did I get it? Oh wait, here it is. And now for the rant proper. We get an intro to show how dark and edgy the studios, followed by the most hilarious way to look edgy. I know exactly how to make it look better. First we need to skip the history lesson and him listing shows that he remembers on Boomerang. Talks about the schedules, the rebrand, and maybe a few other things, and it's so boring since he doesn't spice it up at all. It's just him talking on end about Boomerang, and it sucks. He doesn't edit out his pussies, and it's so damn grueling. You may be wondering why I'm skimming through these, and if you haven't noticed, it's because they are so sammy. You just need to watch one in 2015, and you don't need to see any more, but I just so happened to find one that does indeed stand out in my eye. The description alone is indication of something great.
New boomerang should be scraped. It is stupid. We need old boomerang back. We don't need this new boomerang. Nice grammar, you fucking dumbass.
That's a good indication of what kind of good hands we are in, doesn't it? So anyways, now to the fail ahead.
If you like New Boomerang, please do not watch the video. If you like New Boomerang, go again, and you watch the video. Do not make fun of me because that I hate the New Boomerang.
How about no?
New Boomerang is the worst. I hate it.
You just had to say that, and end the video there. Everyone beat you to the punch.
That is dumb. They just thought the creators of Boomerang thought it was funny. No, not funny. They just thought it was like, you know what? I'm getting tired of this. Let's just go rebrand that.
Hey, have you heard of business? You sure haven't. Because it's not like the rebrand happened because nobody was watching the channel.
And look like the logo didn't even look like it was like a motivated boomerang. The old logo just looked like it was motivated because the bee was shaped like the known toy, a boomerang. That's what was so great.
Yep, we are hitting those boomerang rant tropes alright. Yeah, the tropes are lining up with this rant.
Probably if I was the director of Boomerang, you know what I would do?
Oh really? Then what would you do if you were the head of Turner and the ratings of Boomerang before the rebrand were in free fall like they were? You could either rebrand or end the channel.
Well, they should just bring back the toy. They should bring back all of that.
Filler. Boomerang rant trope filler, yeah. Seriously, the filler is immense. And that's the end of the rant. Filled with filler and is garbage. No big surprise. Last rant to go through. One just happens to be a double dip for Cartoon Network and Boomerang. Because I'd likely lose context if I skip the Cartoon Network half. I'll go through the whole thing. Now then, shall we get started? It begins on a mobile recording of the Wikipedia article of Cartoon Network. Thankfully, it's the same as the others. All the talking points about Boomerang as past rants before this one did. And the Cartoon Network stuff is the same most people hated about Cartoon Network in the 2010s-ish times with overplaying of one show and the like. And that's about it. Anyways, what may we have learned? Never rant about something. If there's nothing else to talk about, that should be it. Wait, did they just...
Coincidence? I think